And what is up, guys? Welcome back to a long-awaited episode of OB Plays MTG. My name is OB, and sorry for the long absence. After I got COVID, I kind of just lost a lot of drive to do any videos. I got really frustrated with Magic for a while there. I wasn't finding like a deck that I enjoyed, so like I was just playing and losing and quitting early, so I felt like I just kind of needed to take a break. But I've been getting back into the historic format pretty heavily. I really like historic. I liked it before, but it wasn't as prevalent in my life as it is now. Even after the standard bans, I didn't really feel like standard was worth playing. But we're gonna give it a shot in historic today. We're gonna do something very simple to kind of warm us up back into it. It is Mono-Red Aggro, and I don't mean like Gruul Shamans. I don't mean any of that. I'm talking like we're putting creatures down and we're smacking face, and we're doing that with a historic or Jumpstart Historic Horizons card. It's a common. It's called Reckless Ringleader. Haste. When Reckless Ringleader enters the battlefield, choose a creature card in your hand. It perpetually gains haste. This is an amazing card because say you have, if you wanted to, you could give Burning Tree Emissary haste. You can give Karizev Skyship Raider haste, which is actually pretty good on an open board. A Bone Crusher Giant. Annex Hardened in the Forge, which is actually insane. I was playing games earlier, and I just drop a Annex, and then you attack. It can have 4 to 6 to 7 power sometimes, especially with something like Goblin Chain Whirler already on the board. But Torbran, our end game. Basically, if you haven't heard of Torbran, but you should have, it's a Throne of Eldraine card that terrorized and ruined people's life. Mono Red is the fun police, but Torbran, Thane of Redfell, legendary creature, Dwarf Noble. That's 1 and 3 red pips. If a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. Even giving this haste with Reckless Ringleader is pretty awesome. The dreaded Embercleave, you all know what it is. It's probably my favorite card printed. It just drops in and makes blocking irrelevant because even if you block, you're dead. It's wonderful. Sideboard, real quick. I did not make this list. I got it off of MTG Arena Zone. I check every day to try and see if there's like lists I might enjoy, and I found this one. 2 Ember Shield Breakers, I assume, to destroy artifacts in the format, whatever we might run into, and it's also just an okay 2/1. Rampaging Ferocidon, a lot of life gain, a lot of clerics going around right now. Chandra, Torch of Defiance, great Planeswalker for your control matchups. It gives you another threat that they might like sweep your board, and then you can at least have something stick that you can continue pressuring, putting damage in. You can use Chandra's +1 ability to exile top card of your library, either deal damage or cast a card, so you can start rebuilding your board. You don't want to run out of gas in Mono Red, and it can happen pretty quickly if you're not paying attention. Rolling Vortex, another good life gain card. Also, kind of, I brought it in against like certain control decks just to kind of ping away at them. Rolling Vortex also just helps, like I said, against life gain. A couple copies of Bone Crusher Giant just to bring in, probably I assume for extra removal. I don't know why the sideboard was set up like this. And then of course Hazoret the Fervent. Embercleave is like a big heart thing for me, but I love this card so much. It's one of my favorite cards ever printed. And I never got to play with it in Standard. I just like, once I saw it, I was like, this is my shit. Like, indestructible, haste, Hazoret Fervent, can't attack or block unless you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. You can pay 2 in a red, discard a card, and deal 2 damage to each opponent. And the best part about this card, the best way to utilize it, at least in my experience so far, is up against control decks. When you just dump out your hand, they've swept your board, you can drop this, and 9 times out of 10 they're not going to have, unless you're playing like a black-based control deck, 9 times out of 10 these Jeskai and Azorius control decks aren't going to have any way to get rid of this. And it's just going to beat you away for 5, and you can discard a card, get down to the number of cards you need to attack or block, and just keep beating away at your opponent until they just can't take it. But that's the deck. Mono-Red Aggro. We're going to smash face today. After this little introductory video, we are going to be doing a cool thing I'd like to call Road to Mythic Gruul. Now, why are we doing that? Because after playing all these decks and being so upset at the metagame and, being mad I couldn't find anything, I decided, fuck it. I'm going to go grab a Gruul list somewhere, tweak it, make it my own. And I did, and I ended up going 9-1, and I was like, I just need to play decks I enjoy. So we're going to start off with Mono Red, and then I'm going to do a nice 2-3 week long series, maybe even go till the end of February, and do you know, Road to Mythic Gruul, and then in between I'll probably make a couple videos that are on the unranked queue of certain decks I'd like to showcase or play some games with, maybe teach you guys how to operate them, and we'll go from there. But until then, let's get into some games. Playing us some Mono-Red Aggro. See how it does in the meta. I mean, there's a lot of like removal and sweepers and crazy things going on, but we might cheese out some wins. It's Mono-Red. You kill before they have a chance, right? Missed you guys. I appreciate everyone. There's a couple of my friends that have been watching the videos, even though I haven't really been posting. A couple guys reached out. I'm really grateful for everybody because, like I said, I was having some trouble. Like I said in the intro, looks like Gigantha, so it could be either Jund, Golgari Sacrifice, or it could just be Niv Mizzet. We'll see what land they play. If they play a Triome, we kind of know. Aether Hub, so maybe Teamer Energy. Go ahead, play this Ringleader and give Bone Crusher Giant haste, because it'd be a waste of time to give Robert the Rich haste. I figured this would be a fun one just to get back into things. Guardian Idol, okay. So opponent's playing something that I've never seen before. We're going to keep putting pressure on, because that's what we do. Next turn we can drop Bone Crusher. It depends what they do. I guess they have a ton of artifacts here. Maybe they're trying Artifact Tribal, I'm not sure. Yeah, we're just going to drop Bone Crusher Giant with haste. Go ahead, swing in for some major points of damage. If this board state exists, he's done. But I like these cards. I've also been kind of like an Earthshaker Kenra fan, but every time I try it, it's not that good, so... Okay, Forsaken Monument. Looks like you're dead. Opponent is dead. We just had that perfect curve. Good game. That's the cleave, baby. Let's go to game 2. I'm stoked. That was perfect. We just had like the god draw. Well, everything we needed. Okay, so opponent's playing some weird artifact stuff, so I think we'll just take out Kari Zev. I'm not sure what their end game is. I don't know what the plan is there. They don't have counter spells, so I'm not really concerned about them countering Embercleave or anything. Looks like it's all colorless, so there's no sweepers either. This might be useful. I can probably take this. We want a little bit of removal for their dorky artifact creatures and stuff. I think we'll just keep it the way it is. We'll give it a shot this way. See, we didn't really see what was going on in our opponent's deck. I've seen colorless decks before, and honestly, if we didn't have Embercleave that turn, we probably would have been dead because, well, Forsaken Monument. But I honestly might keep this, get some early pressure. Might save one. I do that sometimes with Burning Tree Emissary just to kind of... you know, like in case something happens, they magically have a board wipe or something, we can bounce back and get a couple creatures on board. That's great draw. We can use that for when they start dumping artifacts onto the field. I think opponent says good game because they realize what's about to happen. And that's the power of Burning Tree Emissary, my friends. Yeah, if opponent didn't draw a land, then they'll probably quit. Okay, Guardian Idol, sure. I know this is weird, but we're probably going to do this because I kind of want to give Torbran haste. Okay. We're going to go ahead and slow the opponent down because they missed a land drop one turn. Opponent's got to do something about this whole board because next turn we got Torbran coming down. Mind Stone, interesting. They think they're safe. Let me tell you something. They're not. We'll just drop Torbran in the game. Yep, got us Karn. And that would be the game, friends. That's Mono-Red. This is going to be a quick video. If we're playing against decks like this. Looking back, there wasn't really anything our opponent could do. The colorless strategy tends to move really slowly. If they got, like I said, the last game, if they hit that Forsaken Monument and we didn't have our win condition, that game would have been over pretty quickly. They could have dropped an Ugin, they could have done a lot of things and just wiped our entire board, kept us off of creatures. But we ended up having the answer and they tapped out. But this deck kind of takes a little while to ramp up. You know, you're trying to cast like 10 mana spells like Ulamog. Karn is a really good planeswalker, but it needs a little time to ramp up because you're grabbing things out of your sideboard, playing them out. Once this deck has a board state, you're kind of screwed. But the opponent was unlucky because we're trying to kill them before turn 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's get into another one. Mono-Red Aggro. It's good to be back. I miss making videos. I was watching a bunch of other content creators, and I just was like, you know, I stopped too early. I should have gave him more time. So here we are. Okay, interesting. We go first. It's not bad. I honestly might keep this. Well, I did, but opponent's got Kahira. So that's interesting. I haven't seen Kahira be played in a while, and I kind of forget what it plays in. So I'm just going to smack him for 1. We've got Kari Zeb on deck. And Kari Zeb with haste is pretty good. That's 4 damage for turn 2. It looks like opponent's probably playing Bant, if I remember. That's the Kahira colors. Or Jeskai. Sure. We'll play Robber of the Rich. Might force the opponent to do something here. Okay, they're playing Lightning Helix, of course. Everybody and their mother plays Lightning Helix. Get that land out of the way for you. Play the Den. Play this. Opponent's got the second Lightning Helix in the deck. We'll go ahead and give this to Kari Zev. Pump in for 5. Opponent probably has that stupid spell, Anger of the Gods, I believe. Okay, I think we're just not going to commit anything else to the board right now. There's no real reason to. We'll attack. Okay, Shark Typhoon. Sure thing, bro. Broseph Stalin. Now, I said I wasn't going to commit anything, but I kind of want to get rid of that Shark token now, so. Keep the opponent under pressure. We draw into a land, and they wrath the board. We can use Den of the Bugbear. The Fairy doesn't really do anything for him. Okay, so they tuck that. We're going to play Robber of the Rich. I think we'll just send the Ringleader that way and the rest up here. Take an Archmage's Charm, why not? The opponent's got a few things to deal with. And that's it. Going to game 2. Go to our control package, which I actually take Embercleave out just because of counter spells. I kind of want to bring in Rampaging Ferocidon, and I might take out Kari Zev and Bonecrusher Giant. Just kind of have something. Rampaging Ferocidon as Menace, so it can get through like a Shark token. Annex is just good. Could bring in Roiling Vortex and trim down on some of the bigger things, but I don't see that as necessary. We're just going to keep going like this. And the only reason why I would take out Kari Zev is just because if I don't have Reckless Ringleader, it's a little bit worse of a creature. It lands, it gets killed by Lightning Helix, so having Rampaging Ferocidon at least means they can't gain life when they're using Lightning Helix, which is pretty good. I can't keep this. I've been bitten by one-landers lately, so yep, see, better. We'll be okay. We'll keep 6. I'll ship a firebrand. Drew into a land, which is good. Now we just need fuel. Okay, portable hole, that doesn't really matter much to me. Now, if we draw into a 2-drop here, we're gamers, alright? We did not. I will play Ferocidon next turn. Opponent Expressive Iteration, probably just trying to get their land drop. Did not hit their land drop off the iteration, at least. This is interesting. We're going to go ahead and play this. Bring in Ferocidon. Opponent's got Unholy Heat. They got 3 cards in hand. Looks like 2 in the graveyard. They're expressive iterationing, so they're looking for something else. We draw into a land here. We're actually in pretty damn good shape, because if I can get down Chandra and just start beating away, that'd be great. Okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing that could happen. Torbran, sure. I'm still going to play Chandra first, depending on what the opponent plays. Looks like they hit a tap land. That's a little rough. Oh, man. We are getting hurt. On land drop. This isn't necessarily the best card we could have right now, either. Looks like the opponent has another Lightning Helix in hand. So we'll play this. I'm honestly just going to probably beat that down. Send 2 to face. Just try and prevent them from bouncing our stuff. Or tucking. Doomscar, expected. Okay. Buys Kihira. They tap 2 blue sources, and that means they have Archmage's Charm in hand. We'll play Annex, because it's the only thing we can play. If opponent wants to sacrifice their Teferi next turn, that's fine. Okay, they're just going to continue to draw cards. Probably looking for answers. They can activate... What's it called now? Hall of Storm Giants, so that's something we got to watch out for. Which, that might be the nail in the coffin, so to speak. Got our land. We'll try playing this, but I doubt it'll resolve. If it doesn't resolve, we're just going to move to game 3. The opponent's a little bit too far ahead in the control matchup. Not much we can do about that. Okay. Here's an interesting thing, because we can knock out Kihira and then just ping down to Fairy. And if they decide to tuck it, then that's fine. They might have Lightning Helix in hand, which is kind of a blowout. Yep, makes sense.
It's over when I say it's over.
Robber and Triome. Opponent's moving through cards pretty quickly. That's a benefit of that. Or a benefit for us right now. They're trying to cycle, and get through stuff, so... Opponent top decked Expressive Iteration. Most busted card in Standard and in other formats. As you can tell, I changed up my little setting, or my little space, so that's pretty cool. See, this is where Hazoret gets kind of irritating. Send it that way. Send it to face.
I'll have a better plan next time.
Doomscar's fine. Opponent's got less card draw, which is a benefit. That actually worked out for us pretty well. Opponent probably has a counter spell. They always do. Never mind. We're going to smack in for 5. Can't kill it, buddy. Now we kind of would like Torbran or Chandra or something to just kind of continue pressuring the opponent. Racing them isn't really going to be an option right now. Let's give the opponent something to fear. They'll probably block Den. Okay, 9/9 Shark, interesting. They'll probably start trying to go aggro now, which is not the best, I guess, you know? Okay, so they attack the token. Do we just go double robber? I think we just go with 1 and then attack and see what we can get. Because if we get like an Archmage's Charm off the top of the library, that's pretty fucking wild. Because we can steal that 9/9. Oh, okay, Teferi. Interesting, I guess. We'll go ahead and play this just for the crackback. Opponent's got to kill it and then activate Hall of Storm Giants. That's our only way out of this one. People always forget it's got reach. But they probably have Lightning Helix in hand. That might have just won us the game. What a lucky win. Okay, we'll go to game 3. We put up a good fight. That was kind of luck. Like they just drew a Shark Typhoon off the top. This is interesting. Because we can beat them. Like if we get a great start and get things moving, they have a portable hold that they brought in, so I'm kind of tempted to just kind of take out some Burning Tree emissaries, and maybe even just bring back in Kari Zeb, because Burning Tree Emissary against decks with sweepers is kind of rough. You don't want to empty your whole hand. I think we'll go and give this a shot. I know it's crazy, but if we're hitting things on curve, we should be okay. We also got land stalled there for a little bit. Could have dealt with or done a lot more damage to the opponent, but we'll see. Can't keep that. We will keep this. Now I just got to decide whether I want Goblin Chain Whirler or Annex, and I think I kind of want Annex. Start pumping in the damage. Next decision here is an interesting one because we can actually play this, get in for some more damage, but they more than likely have a Lightning Helix, so I think what I want to do is just deal 3 damage and see what happens. We stole an Expressive Iteration, which is interesting. Could be useful. I don't know why Grafdigger's Cage is a thing. But okay. Steal the Teferi. We also have this. I don't know why Digger's Cage is on there. We're not playing anything that would require that, so it's just really bizarre. Alright. Just keep pumping in damage, and now we got some mana we can play with. And we stole a second Teferi, which is pretty wild. Play Expressive Iteration. Put this in our hand. Let's hold off. I don't want to get too hyphy and then we end up screwing ourselves. We do have our Hazoret though, which is really positive. Exiled a couple of their Teferis. I think that's solid. That's good solid play. Let's go ahead and play this Reckless Ringleader. Give Karizev haste for a future turn. Because we're not going to commit anything else to the board currently. Shark Typhoon, we're not really concerned about. Oh man, what a bummer. Robber the Rich, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go ahead and just blow up Grafdigger's Cage, because why not? Get it out of the hand, and then if we draw a land next turn, we can play Hazoret and just wipe this thing out. Opponent is immensely frustrated, which is palpable. Okay, so do I play Hazoret? Just call it a day? I think we do. Just keep pumping damage in. Plus now the opponent kinda has a bunch of things that it needs to deal with. If they Wrath, I still have Hazoret, so we took two of their Teferis, so we shouldn't see one. I mean, they might end up drawing into it. I think they play 4 in this deck. Okay. Portable Hull's interesting. We're still pumping in a ton of damage, and the opponent is tapped out completely, so I'm going to be honest. I think we just go for it. Bring it in. Opponent's got to answer this board now, and if they Wrath the board, then we have Annex tokens, so that's a wrap. We played that game really well. The opponent probably just couldn't get, we just ranked up to Platinum, but the opponent probably just couldn't get the start they had last time. We had a consistent amount of pressure on them in this game, rather than the last game where we kind of were like slow to start. The wheels kept spinning. We missed land drops. We couldn't get our late game plan going. We stole a bunch of stuff. With Robber of the Rich was the star of that game. Like, we stole 2 of their Teferis. I got an Expressive Iteration, which led us to Hazoret, which gave us another land drop, which I don't think I played, but it was an interesting sequence of events. And then we top decked a Lightning Helix off the top to remove the Shark token, get in full damage. It was just a good curve mono-red game. Anyway, let's do one more, and then we'll get to a wrap-up. Mono-Red Aggroing. Super good times. I'm liking this new setup. It's, like, comfortable. I feel a little... I, like, switched and moved my desk around, so it's, like, a little bit more homey, you know? Alright, let's see what we're getting into. Big Mess 207. Just got into Platinum. I was having trouble, man. Okay. We can keep this hand. Of course, we're running into black base decks now that are going to be discarding our shit. Just play this. Give Annex haste. Hopefully they're playing Rakdos, which, yeah, is kind of a pain in the butt with all their, targeted removal, but we can make things work. Robber of the Rich is a decent draw. Steal some stuff off the top. Okay, so they're playing rogues. And rogues is annoying. But we'll have fun with it. We do not have any, like, rogues cards. that, like, you know, like graveyard stuff, so we'll see. Alright, we'll kill Merfolk Wind Robber. Play a Soaring Thought Thief of our own. Make them mill for a change. And then, I think we're going to actually just do this. Force the opponent to have things. Okay, Fatal Push, blah, blah, blah. Opponent hasn't hit the Rogue's magic number yet. Ooh. We have. We'll just go ahead and keep Soaring Thought Thief up. Okay, we have one mind. It's pretty good. Ruin Crab. Played Den of the Bugbear. We're not hitting any gas here, which is a little bit of a bummer, but if we do, things are going to have haste, which is a positive because we are at 5 mana. We've also kind of milled all of their counter spells. Well, their most important one at least, so. Opponent just hit the magic number. That's a bit of a bummer. I don't know what opponent has in hand. We're drawing into lands, so you know what we're going to do? We're just going to go ahead and activate the creature land. We're going to get in for some damage here. Just keep pressuring the opponent, force them to have answers for things. Thieves Guild Enforcer, like, yeah, that's cool, but I'm not really stressing that right now. We can kill it. We'll hold on to our ringleaders in case we draw into something really epic. Man, they are just milling all of our good cards right now. And of course, they have Into the Story. When do they not? Opponent's got 33 cards in the library. Alright, we're going to play Ringleader. Why does this get that? Oh, it's a Goblin Rogue. I'm like, wait, what? Why is this getting that? Okay, Drown on the Lock, whatever. That's all the opponent's got. We're going to continue to smack face, mill their library. Worst thing for us right now is probably an Agadeem's Awakening, or a the other one, I forget. If they want to add more Ruined Crabs, that's fine. We have a flyer thanks to them, so we're not completely out of the woods yet. We got kind of lucky on this one. Goblin. No, okay. So we're going to game 2. We don't really have any rogues tech in our sideboard. I think this is good enough. They're going to definitely counter a Embercleave. Might bring in Bone Crusher Giant. Take out Kari Zev. Just stuff with bigger power. Hazoret they can't kill. Chandra they can't kill. So, it's worth it. Big Mess 207, bringing rogues back. That's pretty funny. I'm like, why is this getting why is it getting +1? Oh, it's a Goblin Rogue. Oh, man, we can't keep that either. We're going to dish that. This kills Thieves Guild Enforcer, Merfolk Wind Robber. I think we're going to do that. People keep a lot of discard spells and they use them immediately, and it's like, bro, you gotta be a bit more selective on your turns. You know, like you don't have to cast Thoughtseize turn 1, guys. Like, it's. But I've noticed, like, I'll play against opponents who keep like a handful of discard spells and then they never draw anything else, and it's like, bro, like one Thoughtseize is good enough to start disrupting your opponent's plan. Inquisition, it's good enough. Like, you just gotta relax sometimes, man. Cool it. We draw into a land, I guess we're okay. They might... Oh, wow. More Goblin Chain Whirlers. Now, Merfolk Windrobber. Oh, okay, so they're doing Drown in the Lock shenanigans. If they play any rogues, we might be okay, because we're still not really at that point yet. A land here would really help. Hazaret does not help with that. If it's Soaring Thought Thief, we're in trouble. Okay, that's fine. I mean, honestly, get those cards out of the way. We need lands, like, real bad. 5 cards, so hopefully they don't have anything too wild. We can play a Goblin Chain Whirler. We really need a land. Just gotta force the opponent to have shit, you know? They want to drop their rogue, that's fine. Like, who cares? We just are really missing land drops right now. This is tough. Alright, well, we'll play Reckless Ringleader. See what we can do. Unfortunately, we'll just dump in for the damage. I'm not going to sit here and wait on the opponent to make up their mind. They probably got a hand with, like, Into the Story in it and a bunch of stuff, and they're just having a hard time finding rogues. That doesn't really bother me at all. We need to draw a land. Land. Look at that. Haste first strike. We'll go for it. This puts up with, you know, Soaring Thought Thieves and certain things. It's got first strike, so Thieves Guild Enforcer, Death Touch doesn't matter as much, so. We draw into another land. We have Hazaret, which isn't bad. Drew the land. I'm about to dive in. See what the opponent's got. They got to gain some life or remove this, so... If they play Luris and pass, then we don't care. Like, yep, sorry, bro, I'm not even going to attack. Thieves Guild Enforcer does nothing. And then we hit him with the Ramunap Ruins kill. Good game. And that's how you do it. That's 3-0, son. We're back in the game. Let's get to the wrap-up. So, as y'all can see, I mean, the deck performed really well. It's very efficient. It's mono-red. We kill people before turn 5. You want to hit all of those creatures on curve. in that game against Jeskai. We lost that second match just because we couldn't really push through enough damage in time. They had enough lightning helix to kind of, work their way back out of it. And then eventually when a control deck gets about, 8 or 9 mana against a Mono-Red Aggro deck that is trying to kill you with 2-drops and 1-drops and 3-drops and 4-drops, you're just not going to be able to, compare with their card advantage. The colorless deck stood no chance, and then that last match was interesting. That could have gone either way. I know monocolored aggro decks have, tended to, knock out rogues in the past. I've always had horrible luck against them. Apparently I didn't today because we 2-0'd every match except for the Jeskai one. Mono-Red's one of my favorite archetypes. It's what I started playing. It's what I enjoy playing to this day until I met my true love, Gruul. And then things just kind of moved on from there. And speaking of Gruul, don't forget, we're going to be starting the Road to Mythic Gruul series very soon. Until then, I want to thank you all for being patient with me and allowing me to get back into things at my own pace. I'm glad because honestly I had so much fun making this video today. And I can't wait to make more and show you guys what's up. And until then, man, good luck out there in the Magic Sphere. I'll see you next time.
Got my shot lined up, cross at minus plus. Will I fire on you? Bishop, knight, or rook, bright as diamond. Some will find it rough to just rise above. As I got my shot lined up.